Siemaneczko, witajcie w kolejnym odcinku Sentymenty Dariusza. Czy to była nostalgia Dariusza? Czekajcie, nie pamiętam jak się nazywa moja nowa seria. Moja nowa seria nazywa się Sentymenty Dariusza, więc witajcie w kolejnym odcinku Sentymenty Dariusza. Gramy dalej w Agathy Christie i nie było już nikogo. Jest to gatunek gry Point&Click, który już umarł, więc wiele z was na pewno nawet nie wie, co to jest za gatunek gier. Ale to są takie gry przygodowe, ale nie przygodowe, tak jak sobie myślicie Assassin's Creed, tylko bardziej takie detektywistyczne, kryminalne, coś z czym musicie połączyć i tak dalej. To są tego rodzaju gry. A widzę, że Magdalena Pierwsza dzisiaj. Obecność. Prawda. Dam wam znać na Discordzie. Magda, tak między nami, to na razie wygrywasz, wiesz. Dzień dobry, obecność. Jakby co, to na razie masz wszystkie obecności, tak samo jak Magda. Włącz sobie podgląd na TikToku jeszcze. Boże. No, idealna na mój nastrój. Hela obecna. Dobrze wam, dziewczyny, idzie z obecnościami w tym tygodniu. Jak tak dalej pójdzie, będziemy musieli znowu zrobić szybką dogrywkę. Dobra, gramy. Dobra, to co wiemy? Wiemy, że gdzieś jest jakiś safe. Ale nic więcej nie wiemy. Ogólnie Mansion jest bardzo popierdolona. Potrzeba czasu, żeby obczaić wszystko. Mówię wam szczerze, na razie nie wiem, co mamy tutaj zrobić. Don't know. Don't have any idea what to do here.
I don't need it, and I'm no pack rat. The storm is kicking up something fierce. Besides, my time would be better used snooping around inside at the moment. Aha! With my ear against the door,
jest
the
dalej.
conversation becomes
Okej.
quite clear.
Did anyone else see the poem over the fireplace?
10 Little Sailor Boys? Yes, I saw it.
And here before us as the centerpiece of our table are the 10 little sailor boys themselves, all looking correct and polished.
I like a neat and tidy house, Your Honor.
Robson, the man who built this house, was a sailor. Perhaps Mr. Owen inherited them from him.
Another question for Mr. Owen.
As I remember, the rhyme was about soldier boys. Highly inappropriate, as I recall.
There are many variations.
You seem to know quite a bit about it, Miss Claythorne.
I was a governess before seeking secretarial work. Governesses spend a lot of time with nursery rhymes.
All gratuitously gruesome, if you ask me. So much violence in the world today.
Sometimes violence is necessary, Miss Brent.
There speaks a soldier for you.
A realist, Miss Brent, not a dreamer. If action needs to be taken, I, for one, am fully prepared to take it.
How does the famous rhyme go, Miss Claythorne?
Must we harp on this topic at dinner?
Miss Brent may be right, Mr. Marston. The rhyme is a bit gruesome. It's there over the fireplace in the parlour if you care to have a look later.
If you think so. Excellent meal, Rogers. My compliments to both you and your good woman. You've done your employers proud.
Thank you, sir, ladies and gentlemen. Most gratifying, I'm sure. After dinner drinks will be served in the front parlour.
Jest fabuła dalej.
Ladies and gentlemen, silence please. This is your host, UN Owen. You are charged with the following indictments. Edward George Armstrong, that you did upon the 14th day of March 1925 cause the death of Louisa Mary Cleese. Emily Caroline Brent, that upon the 5th of November 1931 you were responsible for the death of Beatrice Taylor. William Henry Blore, that you brought about the death of James Stephen Landor on October 10th, 1928. Vera Elizabeth Claythorne, that on the 11th day of August 1935 you killed Cyril Ogilvy Hamilton. Philip Lombard, that upon a date in February 1932 you were guilty of the death of 21 men, members of an East African tribe. John Gordon Mackenzie, that on the 4th of January 1917 you deliberately sent your wife's lover Arthur Richmond to his death. Anthony James Marston, that upon the 14th day of November last you were guilty of the murder of John and Lucy Combs. Thomas Rogers and Ethel Rogers, that on the 6th of May 1929 you brought about the death of Jennifer Brady. Lawrence John Wargrave, that upon the 10th day of June 1934 you were guilty of the murder of Edward Seaton. Prisoners at the bar, have you anything to say in your defense?
Doctor! Only fainted, Rogers. I'm sure she'll be fine. Narracott, you get my bag from my room?
Yes, of course.
Stout fellow. Marston, in a moment I'll want help to get her to her room. Of course. Behind the kitchen, is it, Rogers?
Yes, sir. Thank you, sir. You can use that door.
Pierwsze zabójstwo.
Please, Narracott, I need my bag as soon as possible. If you aren't going to help, at least stay out of the way.
Bo ja pamiętam, gdzie był jego pokój. Boże, pierdolona mucha tu lata. Gdzie lekarz miał swój pokój? Nie pamiętam. Tu. Tak? Dobra, mam. To poszło nam szybko. Gdzie oni poszli?
Mrs. Rogers needs my help. I best try to find Dr. Armstrong's medical bag and deliver it to him immediately.
No ale gdzie on jest? Na Discordzie mogę ci wysłać. Na Discordzie wysłałem wam. Masz Discorda? Pierdolona mucha.
Perhaps we can talk later. For now, I must see to my patient.
Gamer Scrolls.
That doesn't make sense.
Thank you, Mr. Narracott. I am in your debt. Perhaps we can talk later. For now, I must see to my patient. Perhaps we can talk later. For now, I must see to my patient.
Doberek, pani wąsik, obecność. Ale gdzie się nazywam? Na Discordzie jak się nazywam? Jak chcesz zapro na mojego Discorda, to mogę ci wysłać wiadomości. Chcesz? Co my mamy teraz zrobić tutaj? Gra nam nie mówi. Tak, zapro na Discord. Zaraz ci wyślę. Załóżmy. Wysłałem ci. Co my mamy teraz zrobić? Gdzie wszyscy są? Gdzie był salon? Już w salonie są.
Now, Rogers, tell us about that extraordinary voice.
It was Mr. Owen, sir. In his letter, he wrote to me to put it on the gramophone once you were all settled in here after dinner.
That was Mr. Owen's voice?
You doubt that it was?
No. I thought I recognized it. I'm sure I'm mistaken.
A disgraceful practical joke.
You think it was a joke?
What else could it be?
I will need to hear more evidence before offering an opinion.
Dzień
Mr.
dobry.
Marston and I carried Mrs. Rogers to her room. I gave her a mild sedative. She's resting comfortably.
Whoever it was on that recording, that person knows or has taken the trouble to find out a good deal about us all. He was correct about Seton. I presided at the trial, but all I did was execute a guilty man.
I remember the case. As I recall, there was some talk.
Happily, guilt and innocence are decided by those of us qualified to make a judgment, not by gossip. Of course, there is one omission in that recording. Mr. Narracott, of course. Although to hear Mr. Blore tell it, he might have earned a place on that list had Mr. Owen been so inclined.
Nie, to są zdjęcia z mojego folderu. Nie jestem w stanie wysłać modów wszystkich i nawet mi się nie chce. Broken Perfection, obecność, Bogdan. Tak, ta babka. Ta służąca. Raczej jeszcze żyje, Marlota, obecność.
Any truth to the accusation against you?
It's a matter of interpretation, you understand. But I'd have to say, yes.
Will you tell me how it happened?
Elderly woman. Poor devil. I'd been up all night with an emergency case. My nerves were shot, hands shaking. But I had to operate. I had to try and save her. I had a pick-me-up or two to steady myself, but I bungled it. It wasn't the drink, I swear. It was an accident. Could have happened to anyone in my profession.
Grałem, ale początek jest trudny, żeby się wszczelić w grę, więc próbowałem 2 razy ją zacząć. Faustyna, obecnie. Zawsze kończę grać na misji poznanie wszystkich mieszkańców i trochę powędkuję i chyba coś tam i jeszcze i dam jakiś tam trochę teren sobie przygotowałem po tej pracy. No, trzeba wiedzieć. Kiedyś do niej wrócimy, kto wie, może osoba, która wygra, wybierze tą grę i wtedy zagramy.
What brought you here to Shipwreck Island?
Owen sent me a note, asking me to have a look at his wife, who's been suffering from arthritis and muscle spasms.
A to nie, bo to nie o to chodzi, Broken. perfection. Ja nie jestem takim graczem, który sobie obczaja wszystko co i jak chcę sam odkrywać. Zawsze tak grałem. Nie chcę sobie psuć zabawy w ten sposób. Co to za sztuka, jak sobie w Minecrafcie albo w Stardew Valley zobaczysz co jak zrobić. Bez sensu. Dobra, wyślę ci Faustynka. No. Nie wiem. Nie wiem. Pewnie bym, no, powiedział, że, no, żebyście mi nie mówili, co i jak. Wysłałem ci.
What was the gossip concerning the Seaton case?
I'm not one to spread gossip to just anyone about a man as distinguished as Justice Wargrave. If I was certain about it, perhaps. But I'm not.
That is all for now, Dr. Armstrong.
Maciej. Obecność. Dzięki za różę.
I don't think he's in the mood for conversation.
No tu stoją wszyscy. A
I
teraz
shouldn't
może...
do that. I need to have my wits about me.
No, myślałem, że teraz będzie mógł się napić. Need a drink.
Any truth to the accusation against you?
The name sounded vaguely familiar. I expect it will come to me.
What brought you here to Shipwreck Island?
Got a wire from a pal of mine, Badger Barkley. Surprised me at the time because I had an idea the old horse had gone to Norway. Told me to roll up here.
That will be enough, Mr. Marston.
No jak to? Wysłałem ci. Komuś innemu wysłałem. Wysłałem ci. Wysłałem ci. Masz wysłane. Wysłałem ci hej i link. I mam, że wysłane, ale nie odczytane. Wysłałem ci. Faustyna 914. No ale... No tak, Faustyna 914. Wysłałem ci. Wysłałem ci jeszcze zachęć. Masz wysłane. Ale nie odczytane. Nie wiem, wejdź w powiadomienia i w wiadomości swoje i tam powinno być. Albo wyłącz TikToka i wejdź jeszcze raz.
The time for talk has passed. Any truth to the accusation against you?
There isn't a word of truth in it. Miss Brady was always in poor health. Always. From the time we came to her.
Gruszka, obecność.
Will you tell me how it happened?
There was a storm, as fierce as the one brewing outside right now when she was taken bad. The telephone was out of order. I went for the doctor on foot, but he got there too late.
Were you mentioned in the will?
Barely. Certainly not what we were led to believe. She was just saying it, you see, to ensure our devotion to her. Beg pardon. I'm not sure what came over me just then. The strain of tonight, I expect, and worry over Mrs. Rogers, of course.
Ewa, obecność. Witaj. Tak, to Harry Potter. Harry Potter i morderstwo w posiadłości. To jest nowa część Harry'ego Pottera.
What brought you here to Shipwreck Island?
Isn't that obvious, sir? My wife and I were hired through an agency in Plymouth. Manservant, housekeeper, cook, that's what we are.
Good evening, Mr. Rogers.
Jak się dostać z tej strony? Nie możemy z nimi pogadać. O! Jamie! Obecność! Hello.
Any truth to the accusation against you?
Beatrice Taylor was in service with me. Not a nice girl, as I found out too late. Loose. No morals whatsoever.
Will you tell me how it happened?
It was some time before I found out she was what they call in trouble. Her parents were decent folk, too. I'm glad to say they did not condone her behavior when I told them of it.
What happened to Beatrice?
Naturally, I did not keep her an hour under my roof. No one shall ever say that Emily Brent condoned immorality.
How did she die?
Not content with having one sin on her conscience, she committed a still graver sin. She took her own life, threw herself in the river. If she had behaved like a decent young woman, she'd be alive today.
You have no regrets?
She made an excellent breakfast. I miss that. Fresh juice every day.
Dziękuję Jamie za prezencik. Thank you Jamie for gift. The game is Agatha Christie and then there were none. And then there were none. Game from 2005. It's about murders. There is 8 people. They were invited to this mansion and everybody is accused of murder someone, and every day there will be death. That's pretty much this.
What brought you here to Shipwreck Island?
I received a letter with a signature that was not very easy to read. It purported to be from a woman I'd met at a certain summer resort 2 or 3 years ago. I am quite certain I have never met or become friendly with anyone of the name of Owen.
I overheard you mention St. Trednick to Miss Claythorne.
I was staying at a seaside hotel near St. Trednick this same week of August 4 years ago. That boy Cyril Hamilton drowned near there. It was the talk of the town. His half-brother was much older. Hugo, I think his name was. Cyril was a vile child, by all accounts, but first in line for the family title and estates. When he died, it all went to Hugo. He was just about Miss Claythorne's age. There was talk of something between them.
You're suggesting Vera let the boy drown so the man she loved could inherit?
That would be idle gossip. I don't indulge in idle gossip. I've only told you the facts of the case as I remember them.
I won't take up any more of your time, Miss Brent.
Miss Brent?
Any truth to the accusation against you?
Look, Narracott, if that's what you want to call yourself. The rules have changed. Can't you see that? The past is past. It's the present we should be worrying about. Something is not right here.
Will you tell me how it happened?
All right. Perhaps I was doing the odd favor for the Purcells. But if your brother was framed, I had nothing to do with it. Yes, they paid me to perjure myself about Landor. Thanks to them, I was able to put enough away to set up my own detective agency. Nothing fancy, but I've been straight ever since, I swear.
Landor died.
He got penal servitude for life and died in Dartmoor a year later. Not my fault he was such a delicate man.
What brought you here to Shipwreck Island?
I run a little detective agency in Plymouth these days. I'm on a job. To protect Mrs. Owen's jewels, the letter said. Mrs. Owen, my foot. I don't believe there's any such person.
Thanks, Blore.
Okay.
Any truth to the accusation against you?
I remember Seaton perfectly well. Playwright, not a very good one. Charged with the murder of a chorus girl. He was very ably defended and made a good impression on the jury. Nevertheless, it was clear to me he'd done it.
I am grateful for your assistance, Judge Wargrave. Any truth to the accusation against you?
About that child, Cyril Hamilton. I was nursery governess to him.
Will you tell me how it happened?
I'd like to tell you. Cyril was forbidden to swim out far. One day, my attention was distracted. I couldn't get there in time. It was awful. But it wasn't my fault. At the inquest, the coroner exonerated me. Oh, and his mother. She was so kind. If she didn't blame me, why should this awful thing be said?
Are you sure you're telling me everything?
I'm telling you all I'm going to, Mr. Narracott.
What brought you here to Shipwreck Island?
I was engaged through an agency to be Mrs. Owen's secretary. Nothing remarkable in that, is there?
Thank you for your time, Miss Claythorne. Any truth to the accusation against you?
Fellow got hold of a detestable rumor, nothing more. Arthur Richmond was one of my officers. I sent him on a reconnaissance, he was killed. Natural course of events in wartime.
Thank you, General. Stay well. Any truth to the accusation against you?
Owen did his research well. The accusation is absolutely true. I don't see that you've earned the right to any details, though.
Will you tell me how it happened?
Oh, it was written up in the papers at the time. A story of self-preservation, pure and simple. A hunting party lost in the bush. The great white hunter checks the food supplies, assesses his chances, and clears out on his own.
Leaving 21 men to die.
Not very Puka Sahib, I'm afraid.
What brought you here to Shipwreck Island?
Owen's attorney, a man named Archibald Morris, rang up one day. Wanted to give me 100 guineas to join this house party. I was to put myself at Owen's disposal in case my rather specialized talents were required.
What specialized talents would those be?
You might say I'm a good man in a scrap,
Good evening, Mr. Lombard. I copied the contents into my notebook.
Okej, zapisaliśmy wierszy. Rymowanka. Z nimi pogadaliśmy. Tu pogadaliśmy.
Interesting history Shipwreck Island has. I studied up on it before I came down.
What are the names of those two people I'm accused of killing?
John and Lucy Combs. I made a note of it.
Must have been a couple of kids I ran over near Cambridge. Beastly bad luck.
For them or for you?
Well, I was thinking for me, but of course you're right, sir. It was damned bad luck on them. Of course it was a pure accident. They rushed out of some cottage or other. Beastly nuisance. English roads are hopeless, of course. Can't get up a decent pace on them. Well, anyway, it wasn't my fault.
No. Podejrzane. Oj, chyba deadnął.
This man is dead.
No kurwa, deadnął. Tak po prostu deadnął. Ja pierdolę. To on miał umrzeć. Jeden nagle się zadławił i 9 ich zostało. Yeah. Deadnął. Ale jak tu pójść? Odłożył szklankę.
I see nothing remarkable. Let me examine this further.
Z tyłu jest goodbye
I wonder what's
napisane.
recorded on this side.
O kurwa. Gdzie był ten gramofon? Tu jest.
This is neither the time nor the place. That doesn't make sense.
Nie uruchomimy tego teraz. Brakuje nam...
This is neither the time nor the place.
Brakuje nam jednej lampki. Duża.
That isn't such a good idea.
To jest duża.
I don't think that's appropriate.
Mała.
This is neither the time nor the place.
I'm pleased to see at least one of you has thought to turn the record over. Any good house party should include party games. This weekend is no exception. I have devised several little games of the mind to challenge your wits, and I hope you find the rewards for each to be worth the effort. You'll have to discover my little amusements on your own, however. I've scattered them all over this delightful island retreat. I hope that you will find them suitably entertaining.
No kurwa. To grubo.
It's got power, but it still doesn't seem to be working.
It doesn't work.
It's got power, but it still doesn't seem to be working.
We need something else.
It's got power, but it still doesn't seem to be working.
Dwie są tutaj potrzebne. Do we got something?
Nothing else to see about that. There, back to their original state.
Oh, so we got żarówka.
This is neither the time nor the place.
Mamy żarówkę. Ciekawe.
That isn't going to help.
Czegoś nam jeszcze tutaj brakuje. Ale czego?
I can't take that apart. Some things once done cannot be undone. I don't think that's appropriate.
What else we have?
I'm afraid it's stuck that way. I can't take that apart. I'm afraid it's stuck that way. I can't take that apart.
Mamy żadnych nożyczek ani nic, ale mamy żarówkę. Ale po co nam to żarówka? Nie można podejść do ciała. Szkoda.
Do you think it was suicide?
How dare you? My wife died of natural causes, sir. A long illness, nothing more.
I meant Marston.
Marston? No honor in him that I could see.
Did you know Marston before he arrived here today?
No, I don't think so. Not a military man, I'd wager. Lombard now. He reminds me of someone from my command. But the name wasn't Lombard.
What do you think that record means?
Ugly. After 30 years. Ugly thing to say.
Thank you, General. Stay well. Do you think Marston committed suicide?
Yes. In my experience, certain types of individuals, when faced with their sin, will then commit the greater one.
Adventure games, point-and-click games were never easy. It's hard. You need to think. You need to take evidence. Thinking a lot. You need. That wasn't good English. But yes.
Did you know Marston before he arrived here today?
No.
What do you think that record means?
There is something very peculiar about it.
I won't take up any more of your time, Miss Brent. Do you think Marston committed suicide?
I shouldn't have said Mr. Marston was a suicidal type of gentleman at all.
Did you know Marston before he arrived here today?
Never clapped eyes on him. And who gave you the authority to question us?
You're under no obligation to answer me.
Hejka, dziękuję. Obecność.
What do you think that record means?
I don't like it. Not one bit. Very queer, the whole situation.
That is all for now, Mr. Bloor.
Siemanko. Obecność.
Do you think it was suicide?
You conduct yourself well, Mr. Narracott, if you don't mind my saying so. Mr. Bloor has told us that you are not what you appear, yet you told him you were not a detective.
No, sir. But I've read many detective novels. I even had one of those junior detective kits when I was a boy. Magnifying glass, fingerprint powder.
Junior detective kit. Wonderful.
Ah, an amateur sleuth then. You appear to have something of a gift for it.
About the suicide, Judge.
I'm not yet prepared to offer an opinion.
Yes, and if we stuck and we really don't know what to do to make the game progress, we will check in the solution. Oj, przykro mi, Faust. Oczywiście, że tak. Ja oglądałem wszystkie poprzednie Władcy Much sezony.
Did you know Marston before he arrived here today?
I knew his father, the Duke, and his elder brother. Like so many younger sons of his class, Anthony Marsden was a bit of a wastrel, as you will have gathered. There were other rumors of late, of his dabbling in politics, but this is not the proper forum for that discussion.
Już wyciekł? No co ty? W dobrej jakości?
What do you think that record means?
May I answer that in a moment after asking a question of my own?
Of course.
Does anyone know Mr. Owen's full name?
My letter was signed only U.N. Owen.
Yes, U.N. Owen. Or, by a slight stretch of fancy,
Unknown.
I'll
Lol.
now answer your question, Mr. Narracott. The name, the recording, the circumstances under which all but you were lured to this island. I have no doubt in my mind that we have been invited here by a madman, very possibly a dangerous, homicidal lunatic.
No na pewno. Dla mnie Władcy Much zostali zrobieni jak South Park amerykański. South Park amerykański też porusza trudne tematy, niewygodne, nabija się, śmieje się z rzeczywistości amerykańskiej i my mamy Władcy Much, którzy też to robią.
Why did you retire, Judge?
I know there was talk about my competence, even my ego running wild, but the truth of it is very simple. My health. A lifetime sentencing my fellow man, and now a higher power has passed judgment on me.
Good evening, Judge.
No. Ale wracają, trzeba się cieszyć.
Did Marston choke to death?
You can call it choking if you like. He died of asphyxiation right enough.
Was Marston poisoned?
Can't say exactly. Everything points to one of the cyanides. No distinctive smell of prussic acid. Probably potassium cyanide. It acts pretty well instantaneously.
Was there something in the whiskey?
Yes, without a doubt.
Do you think it was suicide?
Seems like it.
Could he have been murdered?
Not my line of country. I'm a doctor, not a detective.
Ja po angielsku oglądam, no ale trzeba znać angielski, no nie? Ale nie, na tym, przecież jest po polsku na jakimś kanale telewizyjnym. Kurczę, już nie pamiętam. Lecą cały czas nowe odcinki po polsku. Na Comedy Central chyba, albo na Fox. Nie. Aha. No to gorzej.
Did you know Marston before he arrived here today?
Not I. Personally or professionally.
What do you think that record means?
A disgraceful and heartless practical joke, I suppose.
That is all for now, Dr. Armstrong.
Yes, I think that he was poisoned. That would be the case, I think. Boże, jak się wychodziło tędy? O.
Do you think Marston committed suicide?
You'd never think he would kill himself. He was so alive. When he came down that hill in his car, he looked... Oh, I can't explain.
Did you know Marston before he arrived here today?
No, I'm sure I would have remembered.
Steady, Miss Claythorne. The lad had his faults, you know.
What do you think that record means?
It was unfair, what it said. Very unfair.
You seem to be a remarkably perceptive girl, Miss Claythorne.
Why, thank you, Mr. Narracott.
Is there anything you can tell me about our fellow castaways?
Castaways? You make it sound so...
Romantic?
I was going to say dramatic. Let me see. No one has confided any secrets to me, I'm afraid. Oh, except one.
That is...
I really don't know you well enough to answer you.
A pleasure as always, Miss Claythorne.
Ona zna jeden sekret.
Do you think Marston committed suicide?
He didn't seem particularly remorseful. Of course, the record might have set him off somehow. A new incident long after the fact may create a strong feeling of guilt or fear. Wouldn't you say, Doctor?
Possible. Quite possible.
Did you know Marston before he arrived here today?
Heard of him, but we'd never crossed paths or swords.
What do you think that record means?
There is something wrong with this entire weekend, and especially with our host, Mr. Owen.
I believe we're all coming around to that conclusion.
Yes, but I know something you don't, Judge.
What is that?
I recognize the voice on that recording, and it was definitely not Mr. Owen.
Who was it?
Not so fast, Narracott. Not until I think things through a bit more.
Thanks for your time, Mr. Lombard.
Where have you been, Rogers?
I went to check on my wife, sir. She is resting comfortably. But I'm afraid I have some distressing news.
Oh?
One of the china figures of a sailor boy has been broken off.
Chapter 2. 9 little sailor boys sat up very late. One overslept himself, and then there were 8.
Filthy night. I tried to go out to get some more wood for the fire, but the wind drove me back.
A storm like that will keep us all indoors.
My apologies for the accommodations, Mr. Narracott, but all the beds are taken.
Makes one wonder where the Owens were planning to sleep, doesn't it?
A good servant follows instructions, sir. He does not question his employer, unless you'd like to share the deceased's room with the corpse.
This will do fine. Thank you, Rogers.
I'll wish you a good night then, sir.
Everyone should be sound asleep by now. Good time for a little stealth work.
O, myszkowanie w nocy. Nam czegoś jeszcze brakuje.
It's got power, but it still doesn't seem to be working.
Nie oglądam. Na oficjalnej stronie South Parku można obejrzeć, ale są po angielsku.
I shouldn't do that. I need to have my wits about me. I don't need it, and I'm no pack rat.
Boże, jak tu ciemno.
Locked. Nine little sailor boys. 9 little sailor boys.
No, jeden został skruszony. Where was the kitchen? The kitchen sink. There is the kitchen.
It's too dark to move around in there without stumbling.
Okej, to tędy nie pójdziesz. Hej Piotrek, obecność.
It's really dark up there. I need a light source.
You got the latarka, use it.
Nothing else to see about that. I can't take that apart. That isn't such a good idea. That doesn't make sense.
Masz latarkę.
This is neither the time nor the place. Nothing else to see about that.
Masz latarkę, dlaczego jej nie używasz? Latarka bez baterii. It's without the battery. We don't have battery. Oh. Without the battery we can't do much. We need battery. I need battery.
I don't think that's appropriate.
I need battery. Battery. Skąd ja mam znaleźć baterię?
It's got power, but it still doesn't seem to be working.
There is no battery here.
It's got power, but it still doesn't seem to be working.
I hope so too. We need the battery. Quick. Now. I need the battery. Może i nigdy nie wiem, którędy tutaj mam iść. It's tricky. O. There is no battery here.
It's a book holder. Seems like a long time since it's been used.
I need battery.
Wargrave on Justice. I can only imagine the egotism that lurks within those pages. It won't help my brother if I'm drowned in the storm.
We don't have
The drawer's locked.
key. There is nothing. We already been here. Something else. What is it? Kartka.
This could use a closer look.
Pragniesz rzucić nieco światła na sprawę, kwiecistą mową zyskać możesz przyjaciół. Ciekawe. Thank you. Thanks for being here.
A rather beautifully made globe of the world.
Have a nice day. We need the battery. How to get it? From where to get it?
A place for everything and everything in its place. It's a sturdy cast iron stove. Copper pots, just as I'd expect.
I need battery.
I don't need to lug this around with me. No need to call unnecessary attention to my snooping.
No, that's not.
The larder is very well stocked. It's a full sack of flour.
How to get it?
The refrigerator hardly seems large enough for a house of this size. It's too dark to move around in there without stumbling.
Where is the battery?
Some things once done cannot be undone.
Battery.
Nothing else to see about that. I see nothing remarkable. Nothing a little elbow grease can't undo.
Okay, we got the cheese. That's not the battery.
I can't take that apart. Some things once done cannot be undone. I can't take that apart.
How to get the battery?
Fresh flowers. Quite pretty. The storm is kicking up something fierce. Besides, my time would be better used snooping around inside at the moment. It's got power, but it still doesn't seem to be working. It's got power, but it still doesn't seem to be working. They don't get along.
Nie wiem, gdzie jest bateria. There's nothing here. Hejka, Paulina C. Nie wiem, gdzie jest bateria. Musimy znaleźć baterię. Tu nie ma baterii. Nie wiem. No bo to są stare gry.
Not that I'd want to play, even if there was time. I've no talent for the game whatsoever.
No
It's
bo...
too dark to move around in there without stumbling.
Kurde no, gdzie jest ta bateria? Gdzie jest bateria? Czy nie możemy nigdzie indziej iść? To gdzie jest ta bateria? Latarka bez baterii.
I can't get them to fit.
baterii dział. Nie jesteśmy w stanie
It won't
nic
help my
indziej-
brother if I'm drowned in the storm.
Tu nie jesteśmy w stanie nic zrobić. Tak, no. Mam pełno gier CD Action. We wszystkie pogramy. Tu nie ma baterii.
I shouldn't do that. I need to have my wits about me.
To ma power.
It's got power, but it still doesn't seem to be working.
Tu jest jakieś power. Ale nie da się stąd wziąć żadnej baterii.
It's got power, but it still doesn't seem to be working.
Spróbujemy w kuchni znaleźć. Tu jest salon, no tutaj nic nie ma. Już sprawdzałem. Tu nic nie ma. W tych szufladach już też nic nie ma. Tylko dwie są, a ta jest zamknięta na klucz. Tu nic nie zrobimy. I tu też nic nie ma już.
A rather beautifully made globe of the world.
Jak w kuchni w szufladzie będzie, to jesteś dobra.
It's locked fast. A place for everything and everything in its place.
Jeden jest zbity,
9 little sailor boys.
bo jedna osoba już zginęła. To jest jadalnia, ale no... Tu nic nie ma. Dobra, jesteśmy w kuchni.
It's a sturdy cast iron stove.
Tu nic nie ma. Też nie jesteśmy nic w stanie otworzyć.
Copper pots, just as I'd expect. The refrigerator hardly seems large enough for a house of this size.
O, bipolar. Obecność. Pozdrawiam cię z domu jeszcze, ale też idę do pracy. Boże, gdzie jest ta bateria? Zlitujcie się nade mną.
The larder is very well stocked. The larder is very well stocked. The larder is very well stocked. I don't need it, and I'm no pack rat.
Where is the battery?
No need to call unnecessary attention to my snooping.
Chyba będziemy musieli zajrzeć do solucji, bo byłem już wszędzie i dalej nie mogę znaleźć baterii. Więc ja nie wiem, gdzie jest ta bateria. Nie ma żadnej baterii. Jedyne co mi przychodzi do głowy...
A radiator. You can't have enough of them, really.
Że ta bateria byłaby tu. Bo tu jest power.
It's got power, but it still doesn't seem to be working.
Ale ze środka nie da się nic zabrać. Nie ma tu jakiejś baterii w środku.
It's got power, but it still doesn't seem to be working. Perhaps another time. I don't think that's appropriate. This is neither the time nor the place. It's got power, but it still doesn't seem to be working.
Bateria. Chyba zajrzymy do solucji, bo ja naprawdę nie wiem, gdzie jest ta bateria. Niestety zrobimy to. Zajrzymy do solucji. Bo ja tu nie widzę żadnej baterii. Żadnej. Nie ma tu nic. I nie jesteś w stanie nigdzie więcej pójść, no to gdzie jest ta bateria? No gdzie jest? Jak tu nawet nie było telewizji, ani nic, to gdzie jest ta jebana bateria? Byliśmy już wszędzie. Wszędzie. Hej, Wikali. Nie wiem, gdzie jest bateria. Zaglądamy do solucji, bo chodzę i naprawdę nie wiem, gdzie jest bateria. And there were none battery. Wiedziałem, kurwa, że to jest Moon Logic. 2 life'y. To jest Moon Logic. Wiecie, gdzie jest, kurwa, bateria? W worku na mąkę. W worku na mąkę jest bateria. Kto, kurwa, trzyma tam baterię? Kto trzyma baterię w worku na mące? No ale było powiedziane, że cała ta uroczystość, to spotkanie tutaj tych ludzi, to jest pełne zagadek. Ale to nie ma sensu. Nie ma. To ja bym mógł tak sobie szukać cały czas, bo ja myślę, kurwa, logicznie. Myślę logicznie, kto by szukał baterii w worku na mąkę. Bez sensu.
It's a full sack of flour.
Worek z mąką. Gdzie jest moja szufelka do mąki? Aha. Niewielka ilość mąki.
I see nothing remarkable. I'm afraid it's stuck that way.
Po co ci mąka?
There are some batteries buried under here.
Nowa bateria, no kurwa super. Na pewno.
Let's hope that holds.
And we got the battery. Now we can snoop.
Whoever it is, please leave us. My wife needs her rest.
Sorry about that, Rogers.
Not at all.
Mam baterię, wiesz gdzie były, Paulina? W worku na mąki, na mąkę. W worku na mąkę, kurwa, była bateria. Mógłbym jej szukać do usranej śmierci, gdybym nie zobaczył do solucji. Kto by na to wpadł? Proszę mi nie pisać. Ja chcę wszystko sam odkryć, no chyba, że już będę miał desperation. Gdzie były te pokoje? Wszedłeś stąd, tak? Tak. Snoopy, Snoopy. Snoopy. I'm snooping. Snoopy, Snoopy. Snoopy, Snoopy.
I can't open it. It's locked. It's tightly locked.
No wszyscy się zamknęli, dziwi się, jest noc i ktoś zginął. Też bym zamknął drzwi na klucz. Tu jest ciało tego
He's as
biedaka.
tight as an owl. I expect nothing could wake him up.
No nie, to jest ktoś inny.
It would certainly be noticed if I rifled through his luggage. I better not. He's as tight as an owl. I expect nothing could wake him up.
Creepy. Tak snupować tutaj.
I don't think going through that would help. Either he's innocent, in which case I'd be grossly invading his privacy, or he's guilty, and surely wouldn't be daft enough to leave any evidence in his luggage.
You think so?
It's a marble sculpture of an elephant. No need to call unnecessary attention to my snooping.
Don't snoop then. Hejka Klaudia, jeszcze ci się udało załapać, gdyż prawie kończymy, więc masz szczęście. You got the luck.
It's locked fast.
You got the luck. And
It's tightly
you
locked.
got the luck. Dziwne. Może masz wyłączone powiadomienia w ustawieniach. A jesteś u mnie na Discordzie? Klaudia? Bo ja na Discordzie informuję o live'ie. No to ja ci wyślę zapro. Czekaj. O Boże, to będzie trudne, bo jest dużo Klaudii. Czekaj. O, jesteś. Proszę bardzo, zaproszenie na Discorda, tam was zawsze informuję, tylko pamiętaj, żeby mieć włączone powiadomienia z Discorda. Taka platforma dla fanów kogoś tam. Można sobie pisać, wysyłać różne rzeczy, zdjęcia z gry, rozmawiać sobie. To jest mój fanpage taki. Dobra. Paulina C. Tylko ściągnij sobie aplikację Discorda i dołącz do mojej grupy, wtedy będziesz miała powiadomienia. Paulina. Paulina. mące. Dobra, mam cię. Wysłałem ci też. Proszę bardzo. Spoko, witajcie w rodzinie.
I can't open it. It's locked.
Boże, muszę iść naokoło. A co jest tu? Spoko, spoko.
It's tightly locked. I can't open it. It's locked.
Te są otwarte. Ktoś się nie bał. W rybniku na rynku.
I don't think going through that would help. Either he's innocent, in which case I'd be grossly invading his privacy, or he's guilty, and surely wouldn't be daft enough to leave any evidence in his luggage.
Dobra, na tym kończymy dzisiejszy odcinek. Bo muszę się już ogarniać do pracy. Także dzięki za uwagę. Do zobaczenia na następnym. Bye bye, miłego dnia. Bye bye.